Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Matson here. Wanted to take a few moments and just talk a little bit about the downtown and the flood and the Mississippi River. I'm sure you remember 1 year ago today is when the Mississippi River and Mother Nature said, I'm in charge. And we had the HESCOs behind us set up. They'd been working for a while, but we had our historic flood. We had an exorbitant amount of rainfall. And Mother Nature said, you know what, I'm going to let you know that I'm in charge. So we had a terrible event here. A lot of people around this area were impacted severely by the breach of our flood system. And we moved on and worked with a lot of folks here and the city staff and a lot of community members had a lot of discussions. We formed a flood task force. And since being mayor, I've had the opportunity to get some feedback and talk with many of those on what we should do moving forward. Because when this happened, it was a terrible event, but the key, I think, is that we learned from it. We brought the Corps of Engineers in here to give us a forensic analysis of what happened, and they gave us some recommendations, and we've implemented those. So when we build HESCOs, we do 2 deep now. We took out some planters behind me, some of those cement barriers along River Drive, so that the system can be in place and doesn't get moved by the river. We build it up stronger, and we pre-position stuff, the HESCOs and all the equipment, so we can react when the river and Mother Nature wants to flood. But as you know, looking behind me and looking around, Mother Nature and the river are back in its place, right? But just a few days ago, a week, there was some HESCOs behind me. There was a flood system set up. We set it up within days and then we took it down because we want to have River Drive open for everyone and we want to take care of our downtown and businesses. Because there's a couple things in Davenport that are real important to us. One, the most important asset we have is our people and our people's livelihoods and how they experience the Midwest and our community. So we want to make sure that we protect all of those assets. The downtown, big asset, big important feature for us, and a lot of people enjoy both their livelihood and coming down here and experiencing Davenport. Huge asset, Mississippi River. Okay, so all these things come together, and a year ago today, they impacted each other in a big way. So moving forward, the Corps has said do a few things. We've done those. We are hiring a consultant. Many people in the community said we got to find an expert. We got to find a firm that can tell us how to move forward in a mitigation flood protection system or a flood mitigation system. So tomorrow, the 1st of May, is the deadline for firms to submit requests for proposals. Then I'm and the city, we're putting together a little committee to review those proposals, both some elected officials, some community members, and some staff, and we're going to select a firm. And then the firm's going to come in and we're going to talk about what we need to do both in the downtown here on River Drive, over on the west end, over on the east side, and how we move forward working with our river and our downtown and all of our assets to make this community move forward with a flood protection system. So know that we've learned from this. Again, we had HESCOs up just a few days ago, a week ago, holding the river back. The record flood here on 2 May, just a couple days after the breach, was almost 23 feet. A week ago, we had the river close to 18 feet, and we can do floods. We do floods all the time, and we protect. Right now, the river's getting down close to 12 feet. That's a huge difference in a year's time. And Davenport can adjust to that and deal with that. And moving forward, we're going to have a system in place that will protect or mitigate the flood in all of the different parts. So what we said we were going to do, use the Corps to give us an analysis, talk to the public, talk to community stakeholders about how to move forward, bring in a consultant. We're doing that. And my expectation is here within a year and a half or so now, we'll have the consultant, the recommendations, the council will have their discussions, we'll have a lot of public input, and we'll be moving forward on our future flood protection system. So I just want to take a moment this morning on the anniversary of the breach and the flood that happened right here. The breach was right there where the HESCOs were. That you know that I, your city council, your staff, and people here are on this. We don't forget about it. Many times in the past, at 65 and the other times where we've had big floods, 93, we talk about this stuff and then we don't do a lot moving forward. We're committed to having this system in place and know that tomorrow the RFPs for that consultant are in, and we're going to have a committee to pick that firm. So thank you for your attention. I just wanted to, again, take a moment and talk about this and let you know we're committed to this flood protection or flood mitigation system. And as your elected folks and staff, we're going to do what you ask us to do, because that's what we do in Davenport. We work together, we decide on a path forward, and then we execute that. Thank you for your time.